Mr. Ken Elliott wears many hats. He is a renowned artist for over 30 years, with showings of his landscape works in galleries worldwide. He is the author of the book Manifesting 123 and You Don't Need 3. For 20 years, he has experienced sending objects and thought and having them appear in real time. This is a results-oriented book and not a series of exercises or complicated techniques. He also has several YouTube videos about his artwork and his spiritual revelations. He is a friend to the church, and it is an honor to welcome back to the platform, Mr. Ken Elliott.
Good morning. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for all of those who put this together, and I'm very honored to be here. To start with a bang, I'm just going to put out a bold statement. Until now, the knowledge of how your thoughts are affecting your life hasn't been fully explained. Just going to let that sit there. We have a lot of, my gosh, there's so many manifesting books. I'm not the guy that was going to write another one, but I had experiences that were unique to the field, and it needed to be passed on. I have some remarkable teachers and friends. One of them is William Buhlman, who is an out-of-body author and teaches you how to go out of body in full consciousness. And sitting down with him is like having a conversation with Magellan or Columbus. And we're confidants, did his website for years and had access to all those tens of thousands of stories from people all over the world that were going out of body and their experiences. And one day he said privately, he said, sometimes I go to this place over there and I can see all these things in my wish list in various stages of formation. And I went, what are you talking about? He said, well, if I was thinking about this van, I've got it on a wish list. He's one of those few guys I knew that was making lists. If I wanted this van, I would put it on my list and I would, touch it every day. It might be on the mirror in the dressing area, something like that. And if I've been on this idea, this intention for a van for a few days or a few weeks, I could go to this place over there. And one of these things that I see in formation is this wisp of smoke. I have a knowing over there, so I get that it's the van. And if I've been on this thing for weeks and weeks and weeks, I can see that van start to take form. It becomes more and more 3D. This is all on the other side in the non-physical realm. It becomes more 3D, full color. And somehow or another, that van is going to come into my physical realm. It might be a gift. I might have the money to buy it, and I see exactly the right thing, and I purchase it. And I immediately called Judy Goodman, who's online with us now, and she's quite gifted. I don't have time to even go through all of that. I'll touch on that a little later. But she goes out of body every night, sees the other side continually, and with her physical eyes and ears. And so she's quite the go-to person when I get a piece of information like this. And I called her up and I said, I just talked with William, and she knows William. He said he goes to this place and he can see these things on his wish list in various stages of formation. Is that true? She said, yeah. I said, well, why didn't you ever tell me? She said, well, you never asked me. Okay. So I started to experiment with this. And I'm going to come around to that later. There's a clear difference between wishing and knowing. Imagine you're a genie and everything that you say happens immediately. That's what we're talking about here. You can't see it, but it's working anyway. I like what Galileo said. And we're going to simplify this thing so you can have it. All truths are easy to understand once they're discovered. So we're on a discovery today. This is quite simple. It is a natural law. Before you turned the light on this morning, did you petition the light switch that it would turn on? Did you have sticky notes all over it to say, oh my God, I hope it's going to work this time because it's been a mess? You just turn it on. You don't think about it. You know that light switch is hardwired to the power company. If it doesn't work, there's something wrong with the connection. You know if it's connected, it's going to work. 100% of the time. And your thoughts are connected that way. That's how we operate. We just don't know it. All right, think of gravity. Gravity is a natural law. Did I tell you I'm really good at gravity? I'm so good at gravity. If I let this go, it's going to fall to the ground. You don't even know me, and you know that's going to go to the ground. Gravity is a natural law. And I'm not any better at gravity than any of you. Since birth, we're living in this place with these natural laws, and gravity is one of them. And we can use it for so-called good things, for so-called bad things, and gravity doesn't judge us. And I want to be very clear on this point. Your thoughts are interacting in the field around you, and they are creating form. And they do not judge if you're thinking of something so-called good for you or so-called bad for you. Your thoughts will merrily form them up. And you can have joy and you can have catastrophe. I remember somebody said something one time, and I really didn't like it. He closed with this, and I'm going to give it to you early. He said, if your life is not the way you want it right now, if you're unhappy the way things are, it's probably your fault. I hated that. There's a lot of truth to that. Now, we have destiny. We have people we're supposed to see, have experiences and things and this and that we have, sort of pre-planned, and we come down here, we do that, but we have a lot of open field to put together things the way we would desire them to be. And yes, we are going to have these so-called good and bad things happen. But my view is once you get into manifesting, and prayer certainly counts too. I've not had a tour of the prayer department, but it is real. We all know it works. And it's not instantaneous. I don't know the rhyme and reason for that. But once you get on this and start to focus and really understand that you can make change in your life will have these up and downs, but the trend line is going up. The trend line goes up. Now, when you're thinking of things, there's all these random thoughts. There's a toothpaste commercial, there's a billboard, this and that. Those are okay. You're not going to form up that you're going to get tooth decay because you saw a TV ad about this toothpaste or ring around the collar, all that kind of crazy stuff. What happens with thought is it's about repetition. And I'll come back around to that. But your thoughts are directly creating reality. This is indispensable knowledge. I hope you just get this. Just pretend, if you like, that Ken's telling you something that just might be true, but it is true. It's been demonstrated to me too many times in too many ways over too many years. Your thoughts are creating form in the near physical realm, the realm beyond this one, right now. And our so-called good and bad ideas are being constantly formed around us all the time. We have the ability to use thought to create anything, sometimes impossible things. And you don't have to assemble armies of helpers to create your own personal income. So back to Judy Goodman. She's at the core of this book. Wayman was the guy that said, I see my thoughts arrayed in different stages of construction, so to speak. And he used to give me his wish list, and everything on his wish list would happen. I was just astounded by that. Did I do anything with it? No, I just thought it was kind of fun. He's a special guy. He wrote a book. He's a smart fella. That, didn't apply to me. There's a little thing back there, I'm not worthy, or I'm lazy, or I'm not going to apply myself. I just played around with it. So when I first met Judy, I've been talking on the phone with her for a while, and a stranger called me and introduced herself. He said, "Do you know who you're dealing with? Judy Goodman?" And I said, "Well, yeah, she's a psychic lady." Judy hates that. And she said, "Well, no." She started telling me all these things Judy can do. I'm not going to go into all those things right now. And I spoke to a few of those. She's out of body every night. She can show up in your dreams. She can help you affect change and get behind you. She goes out of body every night, so she's in constant contact with the non-physical realm 24/7. And so she told me, the last thing she told me, if you send Judy something in thought, she'll get it. And again, I had one of those moments like, what? She said, yeah, I sent her something for her birthday last year and she got it. Now, don't go sending Judy things in thought because she has a lot of little barriers in the way. But I didn't know it. But at the time that I did this for well over a year or so, she would allow me in because at some point I'm supposed to wake up and write a book about this because no one has ever experienced this and written about it. So, okay, Judy's got a birthday the next day, so I'm going to send Judy something in thought. How are we doing on time?
We're fine.
Okay, I'm going to send Judy something in thought. So I'm an artist, but it didn't matter. I just wanted something simple so I get my head around it. I don't know how to do this. Do you know how to do this? I don't know how to do this. So I'm going to send her a yellow rose and a simple silver vase. Now, when I talked with Judy about this the day before, that I'm going to send her something for her birthday, she said, well, you just think about it, give it 2 or 3 seconds and let it go. And by the way, remember this by the way part, okay? Because it went right over my head. By the way, you're going to send me a gift. It's going to come from your heart. I'm going to get it every time. Well, I didn't care about that heart smart stuff. I just wanted to send her this thing because I'm just a kid. I'm going to play with this. It worked for my friend, so okay, it can work for me, I guess. So I sat down and I concentrated on this rose and a simple silver vase. This is easy to do. I get that I don't have to have it perfect. I'm just going to send this object, and I'm really cramming on this thing really hard. I didn't take 2 or 3 seconds. I took 10 or 15 seconds, and I'm worn out. I've never really tried to think that much for that long a period of time, to tell you the truth. And so I went to work. I was no good at work, broke for lunch, came back, called her up. It's the first time I said this many times. Okay, I sent you something in thought. Did you get the thing that I sent? She said, well, hang on. There's a lot of people that know it's my birthday in the physical realm and in the non-physical realm. And there's a lot of things in my office. But your thing, Ken, it's right up front of my desk. Well, whatever that's supposed to mean. I didn't care about that. Well, what'd you get? She said, was it your intention to send me a rose? And I choked. You know, I've seen this on TV, but it never happened to me like that. And I said, yes, it was. She said, well, your intention is to send me a yellow rose? I said, yes. She said, well, that's not what I got. What? She said, look, somebody wanted to get in on this. They knew you were going to send something. So they took your intention and grabbed it and dipped it in gold and sent it along. And I'm looking at this rose in a vase and it's all aglow. I had to play 1-800-PSYCHIC to guess that there's this yellow rose in there because I couldn't tell. I just see this golden rose all aglow. And I said, now we talked about this thought. It's instantaneous. There's no speed of light constant. So what are you talking about? Somebody could take my instantaneous intention and capture it and dip it in gold and send it on? She said, yeah. I said, well, who could do that? She said, some big guy. I said, what do you mean big guy? This is not the Ken Elliott, JC, Jesus Christ, Holy Roller Hour, okay? Let me be clear on that. But I get a lot of stories from this guy. I can tell you what he looks like from all the stories I get. He's a get around guy. She said, JC. I said, like JC, Jesus, JC? She said, yeah. Well, I can't put my arms around that. I don't have anything to do with that, do I? No, I'm just fooling around here. And this got really serious. Well, I got off that phone conversation and I didn't even want to go through the ramifications of that, other than the fact that maybe Santa Claus is watching what I'm doing. So I had a bit of a hiccup on that one. Well, going forward, I sent Judy a lot of things. And it never occurred to me that this is, well, I was having real experiences. I would send her a thing and she would get it every time. But I never realized that this was a tool. I was just playing around. I didn't want to take responsibility, did I? You know, that word never occurred to me until now, to take responsibility. It was up on the creed. I like that. Yeah, I never took responsibility. I'm just going to fool around with this and I don't have to do anything. I don't have to pass it on. Well, I did tell a lot of people about it, but I didn't try to make a big point out of it. So I decided, it was probably a year down the road, a little less, I'm going to put this to a greater test. And I said, all right, I'm, are you on the line, Judy? I mean, Judy, are you got time for a test? She said, sure. Is there a chair in front of you? I'm gonna send you something in real time. I want to see if you get it. She said, okay. All right, I'm gonna put something in that chair and you just hang on. I said, all right. Now, I decided I was gonna send her something that would be unique. I don't know how this thought stuff works. There might be some kids playing outside and I don't want to get it entangled with that or what's on the radio in the next room or something. So I'm going to send her a 5-foot tall Daffy Duck. That's pretty unique. And it's going to have a stick and a crossbar. And on the crossbar, it has love written on it in red lipstick. So a 5-foot tall Daffy Duck with a handmade sign. I'm going to put it in that chair. Here we go. So what did I do? Remember that thing about the heart? Forget about it. I never thought about that again. I'm just going to cram this thing. That's what I was doing. I would just cram and jam it. So I'm just and do it and do it and do it. And finally, I was just worn out. Another 2 minutes. That's all I got. That little piece of meat up here maybe needs some more practice. But at any rate, I said, okay, that's all I can do. So did you get the thing I sent? There's that phrase again. She said, was it your intention to send me a cartoon character? I'm like, yeah, I'm choking again. She said, well, there's this wimpy little human form in the chair. He's 2.5 feet tall, and he's got cartoon colors on him. So I think he's a cartoon character, and he's got a stick in his hand. 2.5 minutes, 2,000 miles away in real time. Got it? This is a key to the universe. It's like gravity. I wish I had a Harvard degree and a lab coat, and maybe you would believe me more, but this is for real, and I tested it out so many times. Did I write the book? Nope. I still fooled around with it. That was in my face. I still fooled around with it. I did some other tests using time and space. I don't have time to go through them now. But that's an amazing thing. Now, so I put it out there. You can create things in real time by just cramming it. But here's a couple of kickers. When you put love or fear behind a thought, it is an incredible magnifier. When I was cramming that thought, it's a weak force. When I sent the rose, it came from my heart. It was out there instantly. The love or fear will amplify that thought. You don't have to cram and jam it. So the key to this whole thing is, if you have a thought and you repeat it, I can't pay my bills, I can't pay my bills, I can't pay my bills, and you're scared to death, your thoughts will merrily create the scenario where you can't pay your bills. Congratulations, you got an A+ in manifesting. If you are manifesting the idea that I desire, I don't say I want is a command. I desire a new career. I don't like the word job, I like career. I desire a new career, and you repeat that, and I'm so grateful for this concept of my new career, it will start to manifest it. Now, let me put another wrinkle on top of that. Your thoughts can make the future. Your thoughts can make the future. On the other side, it is the now. It is the now. And when you have a thought and you start to repeat it and you put gratitude behind it, I'm in my future, and in my future, I love my perfect career. It's wonderful for me. The finances are great. The time is great. I have the personal time. I'm admired. I'm fulfilled. I love my new career. I'm so grateful. We put it in the future. We're repeating it. You put gratitude behind it. That's love. It will start taking form. And people like Judy, and she's not the only one, they can watch it happen. Every once in a while, rarely, Judy would go over there and she'd say, that business thing you've got on the internet, it's in pretty good shape, but it's starting to disappear. It's going back to smoke. I said, I know, I didn't tell you. She went over there and visited my stuff. Thank you for that. We didn't tell you, but my partner and I decided we can't protect it. We didn't know about spam at the time. This was early on, and people that would get in there and hack computer sites. We don't have the money and don't really have the time to take this hobby and do something with it. So we're going to let the business plan go. She's going back to smoke, buddy. Said, let it go back to smoke. It's okay. She could watch it come. She could watch it go. So let's make a script for the future. You're in your future, and in your future, you visualize this thing has already happened. I had the book ready to go. I remember I'm driving down the freeway. I have all these things I've been manifesting. I don't have financial concerns. I'm doing what I'm here to do, yada, yada, yada. And I'm so grateful for all these things. So these things are starting to click along. But I remembered before the book went between the covers to still with the editor, I don't have any personal time. I've got this book project now, and I'm a full-time artist, and yada, 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 yada. I said, man, I'm getting up early and I'm going to bed late, and I work all the time. And people say, they would call me and say, you're so busy. I'm sorry to interrupt you. And I thought, I know about this. So in my future, and this is one of the number one things I have that works all the time, maybe working right now as I'm blabbing along here. In my future, I have perfectly synchronized time. And it's perfectly synchronized between what I'm here to do, my careers, my artwork, my people in my life, on and on and on. And I just watch that happen all the time. If I need time, somebody cancels something. If I'm late, they're late. I love that. I love that. So in your future, you're going to repeat it, and you're going to have gratitude. And remember, there is the now. So I would say something, I used to say, in my future, I have financial security. And I pray about that too. I'm a belt and suspenders guy. I pray about it and I use the manifesting. And so now that's changed. I have financial security now and in my future. I'm reinforcing the now. Some of these things you already have. Let's keep it going. Now and in my future. And that's a new wrinkle. That now thing is not in the book. But that is so. Now I'm going to remiss if I don't talk about fear. That's the number 2 of the 1, 2, 3. And this is pretty simple. I can't tell you not to be afraid. We're wired to be afraid. But this is when I was given, and it came right in, and that's what completed the book. Take action on your fears. If you sit around in your fear and you repeat it and repeat it and repeat it, your thoughts are going to create it. You can't afford to be sick, to be in trouble financially, or this thing or that thing. If you're in that fear, recognize it and take action on your fear to try to stop that cycle. What would that be? Okay, I need, there's that need. I don't want to make that command. I desire more money in my life. I desire a better job. It seems to be tied to this job. On the subject of money, there is the equivalent of money. Not everything is money. There is the equivalent of money. People get cars all the time as gifts. People have, they get a break in their rent, this thing, that thing. They don't have to punch in and punch out to get all this money. It's equivalent of money. But in the future, well, I'm now in this fear. So I need more income. I I would like to have, I desire this better job. So I'm going to take action on that. What am I going to do? Instead of sitting around and worrying about it, I'm going to call a mentor. Number 1, I'll make a list. Call a mentor and a friend, particularly somebody in that place, in that job description. And I'll look and go cast around with my friends and see if there's anything out there for me. I'll think about that other idea, 2 or 3 of those little business ideas. Maybe something come out of that. Maybe I can get into a partnership with somebody with something. We'll look at the want ads wherever they are, online, however, whatever. And at the end of the day, I can't make all those calls the same day, but I've done everything I can do to take action on that fear. I'm going to relax as best I can, get a good night's sleep as best I can, and crank it up again in the morning. But I'm not going to get in that cycle of manifesting a negative, because your thoughts will happily do it and it'll come right back to you. And congratulations, you lost your job. But you know what? You got the new one. And maybe it's better. Maybe it's the thing. Maybe it's the stopgap, but you're on your way. You're on your way. And this happens all the time. And the number 3, to wrap this thing up, number 3, you don't need number 3. You all know this. We are highly evolved, very powerful spiritual beings. We're cut off blind, deaf, and dumb in this chaotic place here. It's just full of confusion, and we're trying to do the best we can. In this group here, we're helping each other today. You don't have to be special or in a special state to repeat your thoughts. It's nice to have a routine. That's what I do in the morning. It's the most important thing I can do is to manifest, do my manifesting routine and stay in that prayer life. Like gravity, it doesn't matter what you believe. You don't have to believe in manifesting or not. It works anyway. Your thoughts will take form regardless of how you measure your faith in this. Let's call the Pope. The world's in a frighteningly bad space. Hey, Pope, you've got faith, right? How's your faith today? You at 100%? Why is the world so messed up? You know, it's more complicated than that. But your thoughts will create things. And you don't have to be special. You and Schwarzenegger are equally good at making this stuff, just like gravity. I'm good at this. You know I am, and so are you. So this is just another one of the natural laws in the physical realm that is your birthright. And God, our source, has designed it this way. Apparently, we get to co-create anything. I don't think it was written that this iPhone would happen. Somebody got to create it, a big team. There's tens of thousands of hours of thought, millions of hours of thought to make that happen. And I'll conclude with that. I'm sure I ran over, but thank you for the synchronized time. I appreciate it.
Mr. Elliott, thank you for that inspiring talk. I know our congregation has taken great meaning from it. Now, another good friend of the church is the Reverend Adar L. Walton. Reverend Walton is a doctor of naturopathy and holds a PhD in natural health. She is an ordained minister and has 7 Reiki masterships. She is the founder and director of the Heart Bridge Wellness. She is currently working toward a Doctorate of Divinity in Theocentric Psychology and is the author of the book, Everybody's Truth, Muscle Testing for the Masses. To prepare for messages and to raise the vibration, we will now have a short musical interlude.